Hello everyone and welcome to ITLS Academy Empower the Youth. So today in this lecture we will going to understand what is quality control in pharmaceutical industry. So in the previous lecture we have already discussed about the GLPs and what are the aims of GLPs, what are the scopes of GLPs. Even we have talked about the importance of GLPs and why there is a need to create a GLP. So in this particular lecture we will going to understand what is quality control. So if we talk about the quality control, or we can if we talk about the quality assurance, so it is the key factors in today's industrial pharmaceutical. It is a key importance for any pharmaceutical industry. Okay, so there are different reasons why QC is an important factors in any pharmaceutical industries. Means QC is basically what QC is doing. It is dealing with the quality assurance of any product. What QC is doing, it is involved, you can say, systematically examining and testing the pharmaceutical product at a various stages of production to identify and rectify defects or variation. So QC is not involved in any particular you can say step. No, it is involved systematically, and it is involved in examining, even of testing of the pharmaceutical product at a different, or you can say various stages of production. So what is the aim or of QC is to identify. First thing, it is used to identify and rectify the defect or variation. Second aim, or you can say principle on which QC work, is it ensure that each product, whatever is the product, it meets the specified quality standard before reaching the market, and safeguarding the patient safety. See, every product that is manufactured in any pharmaceutical industry is directly linked or directly used by a particular person or a group of person. Okay, so it is the duty of the pharmaceutical industries that to build or to make a product that is free from any source of microbial contaminant, or you can say a product or a medicine that is effective, that is free from any source of microbial attack. And it also this QC, it also specify that yes, this product, means this medicine is free from any source of microbial contaminant, and it is very much useful in treating a particular disease. So so this is the principle, or you can say the aim behind the QC. Now generally one question arises that what is a quality? So quality, it is the entity of a product, or you can say service, which fulfill the defined and expected requirement. So whenever you go to the market and you purchase any type of a medicine to treat a particular disease, so you first check the brand of which from which the medicine is coming from. ठीक है, आप ब्रांड चेक करते हो कि येस दिस इज अ सिप्ला मेडिसिन और दिस इज एनी अदर सन फार्मा मेडिसिन. सो येस, दिस मेडिसिन इज ओके, एंड येस दिस ब्रांड assures that yes, जो भी यहाँ पर मेडिसिन बनती है is free from any source of microbial contaminant. So the reason why you choose the medicine specifically of certain brand, why? Because they build a platform of a quality, because they build a platform. Yes, our product is free from any source of contaminant, are specific to treat a particular diseases. That is the reason only you buy a medicine of certain brands. Okay, so quality play a very important role whenever a customer is purchasing a medicine. So the quality of the product, the quality of the medicine should be of a high quality. The medicine should be specific, free from any source of microbial contaminant, and yes, the medicine should be specific in treating particular diseases. So the customer check if the products meets the requirements or not. So whenever you go to the market, you check the, yes, this medicine is treating this particular diseases, let's purchase this medicine. So there are 3E in the quality. Whenever we are talking about the quality control, so we talk about the three things. Whenever you purchase any medicine, you talk about the three things. What are the three E of in the quality? The first is effectiveness. Medicine kitni effective hai, the drug is how much effective. Then comes the efficiency, means the relationship between the result achieved and the resources used. Now the third E is the excellence, doing the right thing at the right time. So what is effectiveness? Effectiveness is something, the extent to which the planned activity are realized and planned result are achieved. Okay. Efficiency, what is efficiency is doing, means effectiveness, yes, how much this medicine is effective. Okay. Then comes the efficiency, means it shows the relationship between the result achieved and the resources that is used in achieving this result. And the last one is the excellence, means doing the right thing at the right time. So this is the quality control. So if we talk about the quality control, so there are 6 sigma on which in quality control. The first one is the internal audit. Second is your product oriented, identify the defect, corrective tools, manual checking, improved safety, customer feedback, and customer loyalty. So it is very important whenever there is a pharmaceutical industry, so it is very much important to have an internal audit. So why there is a need of internal audit? To why? Because of this internal auditing in a particular pharmaceutical industries, it leads to check whether the product or whether the medicine that is manufactured in this particular industry is safe for the human consumption or not, whether the industry is using the current GMP guidelines or not, whether the industry is using the current GLP guidelines or not, the raw materials is of high quality or not, the machinery that is there in any pharmaceutical industries is up to the mark or not. Up to the mark means the latest technology machinery, the latest technology equipment. So internal audit is very important whenever the quality of a product is concerned. Then customer loyalty, as I have given an example of Cipla or a Sun Pharma, that whenever we go to the market, we search if we have a normal fever. Okay, we go to the market, we search for the brand. Okay, paracetamol of Cipla means or any Sun Pharma. We can't purchase a product that have no brand. Why? Because customer have a loyalty with that particular brand. I am again and again taking only one name, that is Cipla. There are many other brands that are doing very well, but why Cipla? Because Cipla have build a loyalty relationship between Cipla and the customer. Then the customer feedback play a very important role. Okay, whenever there is any defect up in any particular drug, or a customer is facing any problem, so customer give a feedback. So it is a duty of the industry to work on that particular feedback. So what are the improved safety factors that a particular industry could take? It is again the quality control. It is one of the factor in the quality control, means what are the improved safety you can take while manufacturing of any drug, what are the corrective tools that you can use in improving your safety safety, how the manual checking could take place, how to identify the defect, how to do the product orientation. So all these are the Six Sigma in quality control. So sometimes in examination, sometimes in interviews, these Six Sigma could be asked. So you must be aware of all the Six Sigmas. Then QC in the lab, pharmaceutical lab. So you have already heard about ISO. Okay, ISO, the activities and techniques applied to ensure that products consistently fulfill the requirements. So ISO certification is very much important for any pharmaceutical industry. Whereas apart from the ISO certification, clinical research. So what is clinical research? It is a systematic check on the compliance of the trial process and reliability as well as the credibility of the data. So all the measures taken, including the setting of a specification, sampling, testing, analytical clearance, to ensure that the raw materials or the intermediate packaging materials and finished pharmaceutical product conforms with establishment specification for identity, strength and purity and other characteristics. So these are the clinical research. So again, all these things, whether the ISO or whether this clinical research, they are basically working for the safety of the product. Which type of product? The pharmaceutical product. So as you can see this in this image, how the quality is being checked. As you can check, this person who is standing in this image, he is wearing a proper headscarf, he is wearing a proper apron, and he is having a one tablet or something in which he is noting down everything. So as you can see by this image, this is the internal auditing that is taking place in any pharmaceutical industries. So there are different types of pharmaceutical guidelines for the quality controls that we have already discussed, that is GMPs. So GMP guidelines, it provides a very comprehensive standard for manufacturing as well as for testing, for quality control or pharmaceutical products. They cover the facility design, faculty design, personal training, documentation and quality assurance. So as we have discussed in our GMP lecture, that this GMP guidelines, what actually they are doing, they are providing the comprehensive standards for the manufacturing as well as testing, QC of pharmaceutical product. Now the another type of the pharmaceutical guidelines for QC is the GLP. So GLP guidelines, what they are doing, they are paying a main focus on the quality and integrity of the laboratory data generated during the pharmaceutical production and testing. Basically, the GLP, they assures that testing and analytical procedures are accurate and reliable. Then comes the validation guidelines. So again, students, validation guidelines play a very important role. Why? Because validation guidelines outlines procedures for validating equipment, analytical method and process to ensure that they perform as intent and consistently produce quality product. Then comes the data integrity guidelines. So data integrity guidelines, so these guidelines emphasize the importance of maintaining the accurate, reliable data throughout the product development and manufacturing process. And at last, this guideline is very important, that is quality risk management, that is quality control guideline also advocate using a high management principle to identify, assess and migrate the risk that could impact the product quality. Okay, so this is how the different types of guidelines are there in any pharmaceutical industries. Now what is the functions of QC in pharmaceutical labs? Means which type of function basically QC performs. So the first type of function is preparation of specification for testing of material and product. Okay, second is carrying out sampling and testing of materials or product. So which type? So the QC, it check the preparation of specification for testing of material as well as the product. They also check or carried out the sampling and testing of material or product. They, they monitor the environment also, which type of environment is there in pharmaceutical lab, whether the environment is hazardous or non-hazardous, so they check that also. They conduct the stability studies. They investigate the test features. They have analytical method validation. They even evaluate the complaint sample. They, all the quality control activities are performed adhere to the GLP. So these are the functions of QC in pharmaceutical labs. Now WHO, good practices for pharmaceutical quality control laboratories. So what are the guidelines that WHO shows in the good manufacturing practices for the pharmaceutical quality control laboratories? So this QC training module consists of 4 parts. The first is the management and organization. The second is the material, equipment, instrumentation and devices. The third is your working procedure, documentation and safety in the lab. And the last one is inspecting the laboratory. Okay, so the first one is the management and organization. So management and organization is the first part which is governed by WHO. So basically it plays you can say a focus on organization and management, which type of organization is there, how the management is working, then quality system, which type of quality system they are using, whether they are having a proper documentation or not, whether they are making records or not. Okay, this is again very important. Then data processing equipment, the personal why everywhere, whether it's a GMP, whether it's a GLP, and whether it's now this chapter that is quality control, everywhere personal is very important. Why? Because a person is directly dealing with the equipments. Okay, then the premises, equipment, instrumentation and other devices, we all are aware of all these because every time we came across with all these things. Then the part 2 says the material and setup of equipment, instrumentation and other devices. Now comes the specification archive, reagent, reference materials, calibration, validation, verification of equipment, instrumentation and other devices, how to do the traceability. So it is very important to check or have an eye on which type of reagent is using, which type of reference material a person is using, how the calibration is done, how the validation and verification of equipment take place, how, which type of instrumentations are used, and which type of other devices are used. This is again very important. Now comes the part 3, that is working procedure. So the incoming samples, analytical worksheet. So analytical worksheet is very important for the future use also. Why? Because you have a proper type of a worksheet. Then comes the testing. Testing is again very important. How, which type of test means how the testing is done, sorry, is done. Then evaluation of the result, means how the result is evaluated, how the samples are retained again. Now comes the part 4, that is safety in pharmaceutical laboratories, means the general's use, means which type of safety is used. So this is again the difference between the validation and verification. So before understanding the validation and difference between the validation and reference, let us talk about the few important thing. That is, the first one is steps in pharma pharmaceutical quality control. So what are the steps? So the first step, whenever there is a pharmaceutical quality is concerned, so the pharmaceutical quality control, it involves a series of steps. Okay, which type of steps? To ensure that pharmaceutical product safety, efficiency and consistency. So these steps are very crucial, very critical in meeting the regulatory requirement and maintaining the product quality. So what are the type of you can say steps? The first is sampling. Sampling is very important. Why? So I am just mentioning the steps. So which type? The first step is the sampling. Okay, sampling is the first step. So the sampling, it says the process begins with the collection of sample from various stages of production, that includes the raw material, the in process material, even the finished product. So sampling is done according to the established procedure and sampling plan. So first you make the sampling procedure, you make the sampling plans, and accordingly you do the sampling. Now the second step is the testing and analysis. Sampling and testing and analysis. So this second step says that the collected samples, they undergo various type of test and analysis. So depending upon the product type, means which type of product is actually, so these may include the chemical product, it may include a physical product, microbiological product or pharmacological products. So these tests are conducted in accordance with established testing method and pharmacopoeia standards. Okay, so this is your second step. Now the third step is instrument calibration. Instrument calibration. Okay, the instrument calibration. So the instrument calibration says that all the analytical instrument and equipment that are used in testing must be regularly calibrated to ensure their accuracy and reliability. Calibration records are maintained to demonstrate instrument performance. Okay, this is the instrument calibration. Now comes the fourth one, that is data, or you can say data recording. Data recording and documentation. Okay, and the next is the review and interpretation. Okay, so what is data recording and documentation? So detailed test result, procedure and observation records are basically maintained, and proper documentation is very crucial for traceability, accountability and for the regulatory compliances. If we talk about the documentation and review, review and interpretation, so the trained analyst review and interpret are the test result. They basically doing the comparing between the established and specification and standard, and deviation from specifications are identified as well as they are investigated. And then comes the stability testing. So again, stability testing is again very important step in QC, that is stability. It what they basically do, they studies, they evaluate how the product changes over the time, under the different storage condition. Means whenever a product is made, and so there is a challenge for industries that how to the store this particular type of a product. Means that this helps to determine the shelf life as well as the appropriate storage recommendation. And at last the final is the record keeping. So all the quality control required, including the test result, batch documentation, even the investigation, they are archived and maintained for a specified period as the regulatory authorities require at the time of the auditing. So these are the few steps that are involved in the QC. So there is a quick difference between the validation and verification, because this type of difference is basically asked. So the first is the validation and verification. So validation says that did we build the right model? Is the model useful? Have we accurately modeled the decision problem? Did we rebuild the model right? Then comes the verification, that is the model correctly built and functioning? And at last, is the model free from errors or not? So this again is very important, just to check whether the product is that is made is particularly free from any source of contaminant, whether the product that is manufactured is helping a person to cope up with the diseases or not. So again, this is very important point of view to understand. Okay, now okay, so now let's quickly discuss some important questions that could be asked in the interview. So the first question could be asked in the interview is, what is QC? The simple question, what do you understand by QC? Or they can even ask you like this, what is a quality? Elaborate the 3E in quality. Okay, so this could be asked. Even they can ask you about the quality control in sigma, or they can ask you about the six sigma that is there in quality control. So you must be aware of all the six sigmas, that is internal audit, product oriented, identity defect, corrective tools, manual checking, improved safety, customer feedback, and the last one is the customer loyalty. Then what is the purpose of a research, clinical research in pharmaceutical labs? What is the purpose or the aim of ISO? Okay. And yes, this question this slide is very important. They can ask you the functions of QC. Means what are the functions of QC in pharmaceutical labs? So this is very important. So this slide, that is the WHO good practices for pharmaceutical quality control laboratories. So this is only for the understanding, so you can just go through it. Nothing could be asked in the examination. And yes, what are the six that I have talked about, the additional thing, that is the six or seven steps that is there in quality control. So that is again an important part to understand. And sometimes they can ask you the overview of a validation and verification, so you must be aware of all that. So that brings to the end of the lecture. I hope you have understood the lecture. If you have any doubt, any queries, so you can leave your queries in the comment section below. Follow ITLS Academy on different portals. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.